wonder if anyone's going to join us. And I wonder if anyone can hear me. I won't know unless someone joins. And if they join and they can't hear me, they'll probably go away again. I'll just wait for a minute or two, see if anyone comes along. Hugs for life, can you hear me? Cynthia, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? This is the first time I'm trying something called Open Broadcasting Studio and I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's putting it politely. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi everyone, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Yes! Oh, awesome! Thank you! Brilliant! Voice is low. Hang on. Let's see if I can change the input settings. Just a second. No. Okay. Ah. Right, I think it might be using no, I've lost you. Where's everybody gone? There we go. If I talk a bit louder, can you hear me now? Okay, right. I'm fine with camera. I told you this was okay. Okay, right, behave. I've got an external camera and it apparently doesn't want to stay where I put it. Okay, right. Noise in the background. Okay. I wonder if I probably need to set it up with an external microphone. I'm using the one built into the laptop. Interesting. I don't know if I can change that while I'm broadcasting. Let's have a go. As I say, this is a test thing, so anything that can go wrong is going to go wrong, if you see what I mean. Hold on, let me go and look for the other microphone. So let me put you down there, fighting view of the arm of my sofa. Oh, and now probably exciting view of the ceiling. That's good, isn't it? Look on the bright side, guys, it can only apparently if it can go wrong today, it's going to. My radiator and my plants. Stay. Right, okay. Oh no. I don't know why you're glad to have caught me because, frankly, it's a disaster. Well, I need to clip that on. The camera that I've got has got clever sort of bendy legs, but apparently they don't actually want to bend and hold on to everything. Right, here's an external microphone. All I've got to do is work out how to add it to this broadcast. Hold on. Can't get any worse, can it? Now, how to add it as a source, I presume. Audio input. And it's going to be that one. 3. Turn that one off. Okay, can you hear me any better or worse now? Can you hear me at all? Much better. Excellent. Okay. Well, at least we're getting something right. Well, oh good. Excellent. Okay. Right. I've ordered a green screen, but it hasn't come yet, so that you don't have to look at the sofa behind me. You can look at the exciting picture that's on the web browser. Still white noise. Okay. Don't know where that would be coming from. Well, put it this way, we can only start at the bottom and get better, can't we? Hopefully. Hopefully. That's the plan. What I was planning to do, if anybody turned up today, because a lot of the people that live stream are people that call the call centres or phone the 419 scammers, and I can't do either of those with the romance scammers. I mean, I could call them, but I never give any of them a phone number. So they're people that call me on Hangouts, and that's completely random. But what I have noticed about half an hour ago is on my laptop, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have six web browsers on my laptop, because that's the only way I can keep track of the girls. One of them is my own, which obviously I'm not going to show you. One of them is Annie's, which again could be hard to show you because in Annie's Facebook account, as well as scammers, there are some real people. And so I can't show you that, certainly not today, because I'm talking with a real person about a scam. And then I have 5 other web browsers, one for Celia, one for no, 4 others, one for Celia, one for Denise, one for Serafina, and one for the new lady, Flora. I'm not doing very much with Flora because she's the character from the book, and I just set up her profile so that I could do a bit of research for the book, and I wasn't quite intending her to get as many friend requests as she did. I think she left, this is a lesson for anyone that wants to know how to get or how not to get requests from the scammers. She left 3 comments, one under each of 3 different articles on the BBC news page on Facebook, and within about a week she had over 100 friend requests. She had 10 by the following morning. But it was an interesting bit of research for the book. But the one that you can see now, I think you can see a page that says Danny Parton, can you? I think that's what you can see. It's going to be a bit weird because I've never used Open Broadcasting System before. And if I'm looking at what you're looking at, I can't operate the web browser. And once I go to the web browser, then I can't see what you're looking at, if you see what I mean. But I noticed that Denise, if you look there, has 5 unanswered messages on her Facebook account. So I thought we would go in and answer some of them, and maybe open up Hangouts as well, and I can show you around Denise's account and show you who she's talking to. She, as you can see down the left here, she's currently got, I don't know why I'm... Actually, this is an interesting thing. If I do this, can you see me moving the mouse around the screen? I don't know whether that's shown. And in order to know whether you can, I've got to come back here. Could you see me moving the mouse around the screen? Okay, so I wonder if I can have the chat. There's a chat box that I can see if I'm in Open Broadcasting System,
And I'm wondering if I can still see the chat and use the web browser. Probably not. Let's not worry about it for now. I can only get better. Denise uses a web browser called Brave. I struggle with it because this is what happens. You get lots of pop-ups. But anyway. So she has 5 people on the go here. Now we'll look at the bottom one here, Marxist John. Now Denise has finished talking to him, and there's a series of videos coming out about him. He is, and you'll see she hasn't talked to him for ages. That's on Facebook. But he is a really evil, nasty bully and a very experienced scammer. And he actually, I'll come back and talk to you on OBS, he actually tried to send Denise from Guildford to Rugby to put pressure on a genuine victim of his to send him money. He was quite seriously going to send Denise to Rugby to put pressure on this lady. The video's coming out in a few weeks' time. And I, unfortunately, had to track this lady down and tell her to block him. And in the course of that, I had to tell her husband that I thought that his wife was talking to a scammer. I didn't tell him that I knew that his wife had had money taken. I haven't heard from them since, unsurprisingly. It wasn't a nice experience and it wasn't something I wanted to have to do, but I just felt that I had no option but to intervene at the time. So we're going to ignore him because he's a horrible man. We don't like him. We'll go back here. So Dave Welsh, I always forget who they are. I often have so many on the go that I forget who they are and where the scam started. So we'll go to him. Get rid of him. If he says he's 76, they usually tell you they're working in the army. Oh no, apparently he's fairly new. We haven't had much conversation with him. So Denise has told him she lives in Guildford. And you see, they always have disconnects, these scammers. He says he's from Arizona, but look what his profile says, that he's in Warsaw. And anyone that says ma to you, that simply isn't an expression that we use in English, or should I say in the UK, or in America. Obviously it's used in English. Sorry, he says he's 67 and he's in Phoenix. So we'll just say hi and see whether any of these guys come back on. They probably won't. And if we actually go to Messenger, we can line them all up. Here we go. So Ronald Williams. Oh, he likes Denise's smile. None of you have ever seen Denise, have you? I'll show you Denise. Look, this is Denise. There she is. Obviously the sort of snut. Thanks, Betty. Obviously the sort of smile that would attract passing attention. And if any of you are wondering, that isn't a real photograph. There is no such person. So Denise, all the girls are always nice to them to start off with, so we'll just say that's very kind of you. And a smile. Denise is learning. You see, she's learning how to do the smileys. She's still just not very good with her digital camera. What does George Samuel want? Oh, no, that's interesting. He actually says he's in Nigeria. It's been quite interesting with Flora's account. Let me come back to OBS and talk to you properly. Which way do I need to go? There we go. On Flora's account, I was accepting a lot of friend requests that I wouldn't usually accept. So I was accepting friend requests from people in other countries who clearly weren't pretending to be oil rig workers, that kind of stuff. And I accepted a couple. I haven't got Flora's web browser set up for you today. Oh, Hayden3 says they've already seen Denise. She escaped when I wasn't looking, did she? I expect they all have. So on Flora's account, I accepted a few. I didn't mim. This is absolutely the first time. This is a test broadcast mim because I've just installed Open Broadcasting Studio and I'm trying to work out how to use it. And it's already better than it was 10 minutes ago. Ask anyone that was here at the beginning. So on Flora's account, I accepted 2 or 3 that were in India. They're not going to go onto video, I don't think. And they all turned out to be people telling me they worked in orphanages and they needed money for their orphanage. I accepted a few that were obviously and weren't pretending to be anything other than young African men. And of course they all want a sugar mummy, they said. I doubt if you're male you'll get lots of young ladies looking for a sugar daddy. They were all interesting, but they just aren't what I do. It's not what the channel is about. And so I find it quite hard sometimes that I realise that I am, in a sense, profiling people, but only, I hope, because the channel is about people who are pretending. Oh, thanks, Scammer Takeout. I might need it fairly soon. So the channel is about people that are pretending to be high-flying workers and are blatantly stealing money by pretending romantic interest. My sofa's not falling over, by the way. We're not having an earthquake. This is the angle of the camera. Woo! There you go. So if I go back to Denise's browser, and let's look at this one now. This might have been what, yes, this is one of the ones, even though it's in Denise's account, that isn't pretending to be on an oil rig or serving on peacekeeping. This is somebody who claims they're in the Philippine National Police. I have no idea whether they are or not. But this is the sort of thing that the other people will say they want a friend overseas, and they really aren't the sort of people that I engage with. And it doesn't look like any of the people that I would engage with are on here. I'm just going to... Now, this is going to be interesting because what I want to do here is just turn off the browser so you can't see it and open up Hangouts. But Hangouts tends to open up with Annie's account first. And, oh no, it's come straight to Denise. We're all right. I can turn it back on. There we go. Now this, Andrew Gunter, is none other than our friend from over here, Mark Sith John. It's the same person. And I think you'll find that over here, Denise hasn't spoken to him for ages. He's been trying desperately to get her to talk to him for days, and she's been ignoring him. Now, he also sent friend requests. Let me come back to you. He also sent friend requests to Celia, to Serafina. No, he didn't. Not to Serafina. To Celia and Annie, and possibly Serafina. And he tells a slightly different story to each one. Now, on Annie's account today, actually, let's see if I can show you that. No, it's going to be interesting. Because if I don't load up, I just don't want to show you any private stuff on Annie's browser. Annie uses Opera. If we go on to Hangouts, and I know you can't see what I'm doing. Annie, close that. Okay, right, I might be able to show you this. Right, now let's see if this works. Let's see if I can stop showing you that and show you Opera. Oh. I do struggle with Open Broadcasting System. I might need some help. I added Opera earlier and I've just activated it in OBS and nothing is showing. But I bet if I go and add it again, sorry about this guys, but it was a test stream. If I delete that, which you can't see, so, and add that, and type Opera in there, and say, okay, I'll bet you can see it now. You can, can't you? And say, okay, right, now you can see Opera. Now, in Annie's account in Opera, a very interesting thing happened earlier on today, and it's not what I was expecting. So this is the same one. This is the Mark Sith John on Facebook and Andrew Gunter on Opera, and his story is that he is a Turkish journalist called Serdar Sebi, and you can find him on YouTube because he actually told Annie to find him on YouTube, and he starts each potential victim by calling them on Hangouts. So obviously, I'll just come back to you again. Obviously, as soon as he calls, you can hear he gets stuck straight into bullying mode, which you'll hear when the videos come out. And also, of course, you can hear that he isn't any of the things he claims to be. He's not American, he's not Turkish, he's not German. I think he claims his father's German and his mother's Spanish or something. But you can tell that he isn't any of those. So straight away you know that you're talking to somebody. I wasn't quite sure initially whether he was Nigerian or Ghanaian. And he's an experienced scammer. And towards the end of Denise's, when I had really had enough of him, I sent him one of those dodgy tracking links. And I thought, there is no way that he's going to fall for this. He isn't going to fall for this because he's far too experienced. But he clicked on it. And I won't tell you where he is because you've got to watch the videos. But let's just say he wasn't in America or Turkey or Germany or Spain or the UK. So Annie was having, as you can see, was having an argument with him. And everything that he says is lies. And he tries to bully you into doing all sorts of things. And of course, all my girls have to come up with a reason for why they won't send them another photograph. Denise can't do it, as we all know, because her grandson prints out her photos for her, so Denise can only put them in an envelope and send them to you. And it's the same with Flora. She takes her camera to Boots and gets them printed out. Annie has a daughter who tells her not to send photos. Celia gets lectures at the university from the cyber safety unit about not sending photos and so on. So, as you can see by here, Annie had turned on him, and he, very interestingly, he'd told Annie he tries to duck and dive, but he's really not the sharpest tool in the shed. Annie lives in Shaftesbury, which is in sort of southwest England, and so he told Annie that his ex-wife lives in Shaftesbury, and he told Annie, look, that he'd been to Guildford and Rugby. Now Guildford is where Denise lives, and Rugby was where his real victim lives. So I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. But today, and he keeps on, he's on and on at all of them about coming back. And each time he says, are we quarrelling? We're supposed to be loving each other. Well, I can assure you none of the girls love him. And so Annie said, I'd rather, I'm sure you can read that, but I'll read it out to you. I'd rather live on a desert island than go anywhere near you. So last chance before I block you, tell me why you were in rugby and stop with the lies and bullshit about being a Turkish journalist when we both know you aren't. I can listen to the real person on YouTube, which is what he told her to do. And I've heard you. I know you're Nigerian. So tell me who you really are or you're blocked. I think that's simple enough for you to understand. And took me completely by surprise because this was his answer. I'm Nigerian from Delta State. Well, I know where he is. I've got 2 kids, male and female, 19 and 5, and I'm 47 years old, which he might be because he does sound like an older man. I've been a single father over 3 years now. I've been scamming people on here since 2 years. Well, I don't know how much of that is true. We'll see. But my usual oh, that's clever. I seem to be hiding behind opera. Oh, that's probably my best side, actually. Hang on. Where's the video one? Let's put you up there. There you go. Hi. Usually what happens when they claim to confess is that they then just start with the sob story and telling you that they need money. So we'll see where that's going. He's a horrible man anyway. So I don't think anybody's going to come out and play, are they? I don't think anybody's actually going to come online and talk to us. I'm just looking at Brave. I think you're still looking at Opera. There's nobody on Brave wants to talk to us, and you're still looking at Opera, and there's nobody on there that wants to talk to us. So I think I'll end this for now. Thank you so much, everybody, for turning up, and hopefully next time I might have got the green screen so that instead of having to look at my wall, I tried changing it was funny, I tried changing the chroma key on Open Broadcasting System to the colour of my wall, but all that happened was, even turned up to the lowest sensitivity setting, or maybe the highest, it decided that my hair and my face were the same colour as the wall, and all you could see was like this bit and the back of the sofa. So that wasn't good. No, Beverly, I don't think there was a notification. It was a completely impromptu broadcast because I've just installed something called Open Broadcasting software, Open Broadcasting System. I'm trying to work out how it works. But anyway, it seems to have worked. You can see me and you can hear me. That's a really good start. And the camera hasn't fallen off in the last 10 minutes. I shouldn't say that. Yes, sadly they are lying thieves. I think it's just... I think a lot of the kids just get into it in the same way that in any country, kids copy each other, don't they? And somebody says, oh, hey, my friend got $200 last week by doing X, Y, Z. So they all have a go. I mean, I've had some, before I worked out how to record the screen, I've had groups of kids giggling, as a group at one screen, like 17, 18-year-olds. I mean, one of them I just had a good laugh with. But it's the serious scammers like this Andrew Gunter chap that will and do take money from people, and it's horrible. No, I think I'm going to stop now, Roger Williams, because I didn't really have anything helpful or sensible planned, apart from the fact that I was playing with OBS and I spotted that Denise had 5 unanswered messages. If anyone can think of something that I could do reliably, because I never know when the scammers are going to call me. So it's not like CJ, for example, who calls up the call centres. So you know that there's going to be someone there to talk to. Oh yes, the one with David Cameron. Yeah, well, it was a bit like the one with Prince Andrew, wasn't it? Neither of them had a clue whose photos they were using. There's another one coming, Richard Gere, but he knew whose photos he was using. I mean, some of them are just so funny. And I have to tell you, I'm sure anyone else on here that's a scam baiter will understand. It becomes a bit of an addiction, you know. That I'm so far ahead with the uploads. I'm now uploaded, ready to go live till the end of May, and I keep saying, you really ought to stop doing this. And they think, I'll just answer that one. See who they are. I am going away for a week at the end of April, so that will stop me. Except it doesn't, because the people that I'm going to stay with love it. So we'll probably be doing recordings while I'm there. Actually, the next live stream that I probably will do might be a 3,000 subscriber Q&A, because I think I'm up to, let me just have a look. Let me stop you looking at opera. There we go. Oh, you can have Brave back. Is that Brave? Yes. Yes, it is. I'm just going to look and see what the subscriber count is at the moment. 2,920. So we've got another... Oh, 21. It's just changed. So we've got another 80 subscribers to go. So I'm hoping that we might be able to do a live Q&A in just over a week's time. Get sharing, guys. Persuade all your friends, relatives, random people on the street, people in the coffee shop to subscribe. And 2 hours before I went live, I went and started messaging to see who I can get the attention of, and then I went live. Yeah, I think it's probably, yes. Oh, you had someone to bait. Yeah, you see, the one of my problems is because I live in the UK, not the States, I can't use Google Voice to call people for free. I might be able to do it if I had a more robust VPN, and that could work, because a lot of these scammers give you phone numbers, and that could be I'm trying to think of ways to mix it up on the channel, because otherwise it's just an endless stream of me dictating what you can see on the screen. And you know, I have had friends and neighbours say, really, it's once you've seen one, you've seen them all. my friends and my family don't understand me, you know. But there you go. Of course I would, Betty. I would love you forever and beyond if you get people to sub, and anyone else that gets people to sub. Of course, yes. If I had any merchandise, I'd give you some, but I don't, so I can't. So you just have to have my undying gratitude. Do I ever Skype? No, because again, I'd have to pay for it, wouldn't I? Do any of you watch Scambait Central, Mr. Pricky? Because he uses Skype to call Nigeria or Ghana, but you know, he's always saying how much it costs, and this is only a small channel, and I don't want it to cost me more than I get from it. Oh yes, I'm afraid I've got deeply into insulting them, Michelle, and I can't stop doing it. It's become a habit. There is one coming up, Flora's, I think, where she played it straight because I was researching for the book. But mostly, of course, I don't anymore, because I know right from the start I'm talking to a scammer, which does make it hard to give people a realistic experience, because I tend not to play along. Oh, thank you, Mim. Oh, that makes me feel very special. Thank you. Yeah. So, same question, yes. I keep on and on and on at them, don't I? And I've developed a rather annoying habit, which I don't always screenshot, because when I read it back, it annoys me, of typing it in uppercase letters, one word at a time on each line. I don't usually include that in the videos, because it even annoys me on playback. Oh. The book. Oh, thank you, Betty. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. The book is on Amazon. There are two so far, Seraphina and Denise. Seraphina is the story of how she got taken in by a fake celebrity, and she got taken in because she knew the real celebrity, if that makes any sense, when they were very young children at school, and so she believed that she was talking to her old schoolmate. And then oh my goodness, Patricia, thank you so much. And then the second one is Denise, not the feisty Denise that you know from the videos, but just the story of how an old lady, similar to the videos, she still had her grandson Benji, had put her on the iPad, and a story of how she was taken in by, well, actually Alistair Leslie, if those of you that have been around for a long time know Alistair Leslie and the Diamond Rings, how she was taken in by this sweet talking scammer, and being an innocent old lady. Oh, thank you, Mary. And so, not understanding that there were scammers online, she just went along with it until her family realised what was happening. And then the third book, if it ever gets written, which Flora is researching for, the plan is, I thought, I can't just write an endless stream of books that are named after a victim and individual victim stories, because I thought it was going to get a bit tedious. So in the third one is the story of how Flora starts doing what I do, which is becoming a scam baiter and living in a converted barn, which I do. And it's going to include a murder. I think I've now worked out who's going to be murdered. And so any future ones, oh, thank you, Tagal. Any future ones will be more how she investigates, how she finds out that there's been a murder or whatever, and how she investigates. So we shall see. Who is Flora? Flora is Seraphina's mother. And if you read the books, goodness me, I've got to remember what's in them now. Do you know, I make so many videos these days that when the videos go live, I have to try and remember to watch them back the night before. Otherwise, I don't remember what they're about. But in Seraphina's book, Flora is her mother. Oh, thank you so much, Richard. And she let's see if I can remember her backstory. She used to be a secretary in a solicitor's office in Guildford, as she was living in Woking, and she gave a talk to her local Women's Institute group on romance scammers and how people had been taken in by them, because when she was working in the solicitor's office, people would come in because they'd lost money, and they would come in to see the solicitors to ask if there was any way that they could recover their money, which of course sadly mostly there isn't. And so she decided she would give this talk to the Women's Institute. Then her own daughter, Seraphina, became a victim, and so Flora decided that she needed to go into scam baiting and move from Woking, because her partner had just left her, to near where Seraphina lives in Glastonbury, which is in Somerset. And just before she moved to, I think this is right, just before she moved, anyone that's read the books can tell me how much of this I've got wrong, just before she moved to Glastonbury, she left a message on the Woking and I think the Godalming Facebook groups. Back up for received a friend group. Oh, Alistair Leslie! Oh, I bet it's the same one. Go on, accept it and see. Yeah, so back to Flora. So she left a message on the Guildford Facebook groups, which somebody, I won't give the whole story away, that somebody that Denise knows saw realised what was happening to Denise, so they contacted Flora, which was how Flora came into this second book. And the third book is going to be much more Flora centred, because she's settling into where she now lives, and might be better written as well, because I have a friend who tells me she's going to edit it, because she kind of went all twitchy about the number of mistakes I'd made in the first two. So yes, well the thing is, Mim, when I first created the girls, ladies, I don't think any of them had real characters, but they become people in my head because they've all got a profile photo. I identify each of the girls with their profile photo, but the same way you identify your friends and family, I suppose, with their faces. And although they're all made up, I've chosen all their profile photos to reflect the character that I think they should have. And I made up, oh thank you Mary, that's very kind of you. I made up their backstories as we went along, but I kept to the same backstory for each one each time, so I don't have to frantically look at my notes and try and remember where each one lives and what story they're telling and so on. The only one that's moved around a lot is Annie, because when I first started, which was about 18 months ago, I had Annie as I can't remember whether she was, divorced, childless, living with her elderly mother in Twickenham, which is sort of southwest London. Then she moved to Salcombe in Devon, and then she moved to Shaftesbury, and she stayed in Shaftesbury. I tried to make all the girls live in a place that, you've probably realised that years ago I lived in Guildford for a while, and many years ago, as you can see, I went to university in Durham. So I tried to make all the girls live in places that I've at least visited. I've never lived in Glastonbury, and I've never lived in Frome, which is where I think Flora's been saying she lives. Oh, then now, last one she told she lived in Malvern. I've never lived in Malvern. But I'd just like to put the girls somewhere that I at least know something a little bit more than just Street View about, which always puts you one ahead of the scammers because they have no idea. I was talking to one yesterday that tells me he's on an oil rig 400 miles, and they always say they're on the high seas, 400 miles north of the Netherlands, and that his nearest place is somewhere in the Netherlands. If you look on the map, it puts him about off the coast of Edinburgh, I think. But anyway, they don't know that. He probably thinks he's in the Pacific. The last one did. But anyway, okay, right, I'm going to disappear. So thank you ever so much for coming. Thank you so much to all those people that have made donations. That's so kind of you. And if any of you want to wind up Alistair Leslie, please do. And let me know what happens. Is he still going to send you diamond rings? Oh, good morning, Liberty, but I'm afraid I'm just about to go. If I can work out how to get out of here. Probably if I click on exit, that'll do it. So this is like Zoom, isn't it? Everyone's going, bye, bye, and fumbling for the exit button. Do we know your real first name? No, you don't. You don't know anything about me. You don't know my real first name. You don't know my real surname. And apart from the fact I live in a converted barn, you don't know where I am. And you're not going to. Well, I hope. I mean, one of these days I'll probably give it away accidentally, won't I? But no. So, thank you, New Moon. Oh, yeah, sorry, unheard voice. I expect all this will be on playback on YouTube, because I think I'm streaming it through YouTube. Well, I must be, you're all here. So I'll just leave it up there, and anyone that wants to watch it back can do that. Okay, so I really am going now, if I can find the exit button. So thank you so much